IPMNation.com.
All right, Tuesday morning. Let's kick this up. Coming up.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Good morning or afternoon or evening. Whenever you're logging in, clicking on, however you're hearing my voice, welcome to All Natural Being on IPM Nation. Coming to you live this morning from the Metropolitan Co-working Space, beautiful downtown Aurora, Illinois, home of 14 Blends. Pretty cool place to hang out, I got to tell you. Also this morning, I'm working on the timing. I was within like 2 seconds. We finally worked out the music thing leading in. So we got that good. And I was like within 2 seconds of taking the segue and going, what are you going to do? In every life, a little rain must fall. Right? Like I said yesterday. As if. So what? Hit me with a stick. What are we going to do about it? I also neglected yesterday, but I want to do it right out of the box this morning, to thank the cities, our top 10 cities that play a major role in making us the number one rated show on IPMNation.com. As you know, if you've been here before or if you're brand new, I think the show's number one because it's a show about you, the real you, the true you, the superhuman you. A lot of us may have forgotten about him or her. A lot of us have grown comfortable. I don't need to be a superhuman. Let me just get through my day. Let me just settle. Saw this article the other day. It said, the top 10 coping skills. I want to teach you how to cope. Cope with life. Your life. In a labyrinth. Now you got to cope. Right? Just, how bad do these people want to make our lives sound? Oh, you know, Bri, you need a set of coping skills. It's tough. Hard getting through the day. Wouldn't you like to learn the top 10 ways you can cope? And I just found myself, again, going, with life, cope, dragging myself through. I don't know, I should check a thesaurus, see what some other words for cope is. But, right, now we have to cope with life. We have to take medication. We have to do all these other things. All the bling, all the bobble, everything just to get through our day. Cope. All right, top 10 cities, thank you again very much for your role in making us the top of the list. Manchester, New Hampshire. I love it in Manchester. Boston, Massachusetts. Rochester. Chicago, Illinois. I don't know if there's another Chicago, but thank you, Chicago. New York. Had a blast there this past weekend. Cleveland, Ohio. Cartersville, Georgia. A very dear friend in Cartersville, Georgia, so thank you very much. Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Someone asked me the other day, hey, you want to take a road trip to Wisconsin? And I thought, why not? Wisconsin, that sounds like a cool gig. Aurora, Illinois. Nice to have the hometown cracking the top 10. And Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know if Atlanta's been on there for a while, but thank you to my friends in Atlanta, Georgia, for doing everything you've done so far. What are we, like day 38, I believe, in terms of broadcasts? Day 38 of simply working to remind people who they are on the other side of their blind spots before their amnesia kicked in, who they ultimately are. Because I think that's important. Not worried about why you're here, any of these other things. I would just like you to know who you are. Because I think your soul is tired of taking a back seat in life. I really do. I think it wants its power back. It's like, look, if you're not going to use it, show me some love. Give it back to me. I'll use it if you're just going to sit around, not be happy, not be thrilled. If you're going to sit around and order an online course, the top 10 coping, I got to cope. I got to cope to get through the day. It's a struggle, uphill battle. I'm coping. The soul says, look, if that's how you're going to look at your run in the labyrinth, if you're not going to be thrilled, if you just want to cope, give me my power back. It's on loan anyways. Not like it's yours. So give it back to me. I want it back. Don't make me arm wrestle you for it. Your soul is going to take its power back. One way or another. It's going to go kicking and screaming to the grave, making sure it has its moment in the sunlight before it's forced to tap out. That's the way it works. So we get together every morning, Monday through Friday, simply talking about what it takes to remember who you truly are. Which leads us to this morning's anaerobic aphorism. Your pulse, the pump of your heart, is the best test of true to life. And I ask in that anaerobic aphorism, what quickens yours? What quickens your pulse? Because nothing is true to life if it doesn't grab your heart. Most certainly not true to your life. Might be true to this person's life, to that person's life, might be true over here, over there, but it's not true to your life if it doesn't grab your spine, if it doesn't quicken your pulse. It's not yours. It's not authentic. It's not your all-natural being. What quickens yours? What causes you to smile like you mean it? What are those scenarios? What are those situations when you just find yourself smiling ear to ear, almost uncontrollably, almost like you had nothing to do with it, right? You didn't go, oh, I'm really enjoying this. I think I'll smile. You just catch yourself. You go, hey, wait a minute. I'm smiling. What happened? I was coping just a minute ago, and now I'm done coping, and I'm smiling. That's what I want to know. What quickens your pulse? What allows you? What causes you to smile like you mean it? No optimism, no pessimism, just in the moment. I thought a lot about yesterday's show on the drive back. I thought about some of the head games that you and I play. If you're into cognitive behavioral therapy, you would call it dysfunctional assumptions. But I have a very clinical term. You know what I call them? Crazy thoughts. That's what I call them. Binge thinking. Those things where your mind just goes na 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 na. Won't let you up off the mat. Oh well, you're coping. So let me give you some more to cope with. Crazy thoughts, binge thinking, forgetting who works for who. You ever in a situation at work, you go in, and maybe a part of your job is performing a particular task, and then one day you go in and you automatically expect that your supervisor, your boss, is going to perform that task for you? Who works for who? Our minds are designed to live in the head games. Our egoic self is power hungry. It wants our attention because that's its pulse, our attention. So it does everything it can, screaming to get our attention. And it'll tell you, oh, right, you got to watch the future. Better have some strong coping skills because the odds are stacked against us. Well, of course the odds are stacked against us. We're human beings. In case you've, if you're like me and you like to live in a cave, not just in China, but, you know, if you're a little more inclined to hang out by yourself, I have a news bulletin for you and for me. The odds are already stacked against us. Good golly. Look at the illness, the disease, the meteorites, the just pandemics, horrible weather, tectonic plate shifts, volcanoes, whatever you got. The odds are already stacked against us. That's what it means to be human. But there are those out there. I suspect it may be you if you're listening to this show. There are those out there that realize when you tap into your all-natural being, when you tap into your little packet of the overall pristine, when you tap into your little satellite office of the divine, however you define it, however you decipher, decode it, you tap into that energy. So what if the odds are stacked against us? I like the challenge. We get through the end of the day, we're still here. We can have a smile on our face. Everything gunning for us. So when someone says to you in the future, oh, it's looking bleak. It's going to be brutal. The future's going to be tough. Odds are stacked against you. You go, great. I'm in. I don't have to worry. I'm a superhuman. I can channel that. I'll pull it off. And in those situations where you go, oh, man, but, okay, well, let me ask you. As if the worst happened, imagine that for a second. And then ask yourself, so what? People say all the time, oh, I'm tired of worrying. I think you should worry more. I think you absolutely should worry more. Now, there's a constructive worry, and there's just a crazy thought worry. Constructive worry, you ask yourself, as if, so what? As if that could happen, and so what if it did? Is it going to kill me? So I say worry away. We don't want to obsess over it. We don't want to take up our entire day. But how about for a 20-second victory? What if you and I decided to worry for the next 20 seconds? Worry. Put all of our focus and attention. Engage in the as if. Engage it. Picture it. Imagine it. Let your heart pump. The hair stand up on the back of your neck. Before you get out of this 20 seconds, go, so what? What would that really mean to me? So to interrupt our binge thinking, to have our ego shield, to where we're able to say, no, I'm good, thanks. I've decided to distill all of my worry today down into a 20-second chunk. And then ask yourself, as if that could happen. Imagine it, feel it, engage it. Don't run from it, we don't shun it. We want to see it in the light of day. And then ask yourself, so what? No optimism, no pessimism. Which is why I think I've never been a huge fan of this concept of constantly looking at a carrot at the end of the stick. Perpetually preoccupied with some etched in stone future purpose. Oh, I got to have purpose. Got to have purpose. How do you get through the day? I heard one of these motivational experts the other day saying, oh, well, without purpose, you're just like moving through life in the fog. No, you're not. I don't know how these people look themselves in the mirror. Without a purpose, it's like moving through life in the fog. Whatever. Remember that from a couple weeks back, our favorite words? A quick little bit of news you can use. If you're ever in a fight with a loved one, significant other, whoever, good friend, they get ready to say something to you, your response, never say, oh, whatever. Apparently that's not good. But I'll say it to them, whatever. Or you're going to have purpose in life. Got to know where you're going. Or you're just like wandering around in the fog. Which leads me, I want to jump ahead real quick. I found this this morning. And again, my goal is to never embarrass any of these shysters. So I'm not going to call them out by name because it's just not who I am. But I would at least like to highlight their shenanigans. Remember, goal-setting study. Dartmouth, Yale, Harvard, whatever part of the country you're in, I guess. I'm surprised they haven't said Stanford, right? University of Miami. Oh, here'd be a good one. Well, at Ohio State, 1951, they conducted a study where they asked a certain group of people to write down their goals. 50 years later, they went back. Only 3% of the people wrote down their goals, stuck to them, read them every day. Now the entire world works for these 3% of the egomaniacs out there running around. Here's the thing. You and I both know that study never took place. Never took place. Urban myth. You're better off believing in Mothman. Or the Loch Ness Monster. There you go. Or Bigfoot. Now, maybe Bigfoot exists. Who knows? I'm just saying. If you want to believe in an urban myth, put some coolness in it. Right? The Loch Ness Monster. That's an urban myth. But this whole concept, well, you got to write your goals down, and if you're the one that writes the goals down, you will rule the world. Lex Luthor. Never happened. Never took place. And these people today still quote this study. And you ask one, well, where'd you get it from? Well, I got it from this one. And then you ask that one. He goes, oh, I didn't get it. I got it from him. Then you ask him, where'd you get it from? Oh, she told me about this study. Never happened. Urban myth. We're better off believing than the Easter Bunny. We really are. So here's another one. How to manifest your dream career. Now, this fine, upstanding citizen is going to teach you how to manifest your dream career through guided meditation. And here's what's fascinating to me. Meditation designed to remove this concept of I, to allow you to reconnect with the pristine that you already are. Allow you to reconnect with the enlightened individual you already are. So what are we going to do? Oh, well, here we go. How'd you like a top? I have to write this down. Hold on a second. I got to write this down because there was another one I saw this morning. 57 tips if you're serious about the book, The Secret. Let me just write this down because I want to come back to that. I get carried away. All right, so let's talk about manifesting your career, your dream career. I'm going to teach you how to meditate. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say there's 8. 7 of the 8 tips all begin with I. No gratitude, no thankfulness, just a carrot on the end of the stick, which is a dream career.
Oh, write your goals down. They're important. How will you get anywhere without them? You'll be like a ship without a rudder.
All the tips. I. You think this person needs the top 10 coping skills? I. And this is a meditation, right? It's the very science that's supposed to reconnect you with who you are, because it's got to be about mindfulness. I like mindlessness. I think we got enough mindful of crap. We got enough binge thinking. How about some mindlessness? How about not starting 7 of your 8 tips with I? I've got an idea. Forget about your dream career. Forget about manifesting anything. How about being who you already are? I saw another thing on Facebook this morning. Oh, the 57, it was a paid advertisement. The 57 tips. If you're serious about The Secret and you want abundance in your life, abundance, more mindfulness. Yes, so let's meditate to get more tchotchke crap in our life. Great idea. I'm all over it. Sign me up. Give me 3 helpings. I'm not making this stuff up, right? This is like late night comedians loving whenever there's a presidential election because the material just writes itself. I get that. I couldn't make this stuff up. 57 tips, strategies, secrets, techniques, little things you can do to make sure that once you treat the universe like a giant short order cook, right? Head into the greasy spoon of your choice. Tell the universe, I'd like A, B, C, D, and E, please. I want the dream career. So I'm going to picture it in my mind. I've written down my goals. Now get to providing it for me. Treating God, however you define him or her, the divine, however you decipher it, like a giant ATM. Walk up with some puny little prayer in the form of a 4-digit pin. Punch it in. Wait for the machine to spit out everything that you think you want. Oh, yes, let's have a guided audio meditation. Whatever. Oh, no, don't forget. 4-count inhale and exhale. Mashugana. And then you go down, you read some of the other articles that this expert has written. How to manifest your dream relationship. Oh, that's a good one. I'm waiting for how to manifest your dream puppy or your dream kitten. 57 tips for more abundance. I have one tip. It's called All Natural Being. As I said, I think yesterday, I'm never going to write a self-help book. I think what I'd like to do is write self-help postcards. Because it doesn't take a whole book. Now you hear these stories of, everything you ever wanted to know about something or this or that, and you end up getting a blank book with nothing on the pages. I'm with you. But I guess once that gets outed, people don't tend to buy it. So self-help industry tactics, everyone's got to fill these books with all kinds of drool and drivel. I got one tip. Ask yourself, who am I? And when that part of you goes, oh, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm berated, I'm not lovable, I'm not good looking enough, I've got a whole vault of crap that happened to me when I was a little kid. I got a wounded inner child. I love that Don Henley song from a lot of years ago. What does it say? I'd like to find your wounded child and kick its little ass. Enough already. Enough ego. Ask yourself one tip, not 57. You want some abundance? Remember who you are. Remember what causes your pulse to kick in. Because that's true to life. That's true to your life. And that's the only life that matters.
Oh, Bri, you can't be saying that I should be a narcissist. That this is one big hedonistic joyride.
I'm saying for 20 seconds, if you give me 20 minutes, if you give me 1/72nd of your day, I think that would be great. 1/72nd of your day to focus just on yourself. Won't kill you. To be your own best friend, to be your own biggest fan, to really have a dialogue with your own eyes in the mirror, to have a heart-to-heart with your heart. Sorry. That's one of those times where I thought, really, a heart-to-heart with your heart? I probably should have thought about that, but I never. There's no filter on me. I'm unfilterable. For 20 seconds, give me 20 minutes to reintroduce you to you, because it's high time for you to be you. High time for you to be you. We'll be right back.
IPMNation.com.
We are back. High time for you to be you. What are you waiting for? Tick, 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 tick. One day we're going to hear the ding. Ding! He's done. Send him back home. She's done. Send her back to the universe. Then what are we going to do? We will have turned our backs on our hearts for so long, we're going to go, oh, man, I didn't see that coming. I missed the boat. I thought I'd live forever. Well, here's a bulletin. You and I aren't going to. Right? No pessimism. It's a function of life. So what are we going to do to get the most out of ours while we're here? It's time for you to be who you already are. Forget the 57 tips. Don't get burned. Oh, the secret. Yeah, right. That's the good way. Treat the universe like one big, giant supplier of your wish list. Great idea. Great idea. Meanwhile, your soul's there going, hey, I know exactly how to get you all the abundance you could ever need. You're already full of confidence. Have you seen your pedigree lately? You know who you ultimately are? But no, we got to keep pulling ourselves out of this moment, acutely absorbed in the antics of anticipation. Gimme, 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 gimme. I. I'm asking you for 20 seconds. What if I'm right? What if I'm telling you the truth? What if for 20 seconds you just said, hey, I'm already a badass, thanks. What if you got a self-help postcard from me? And all it said on that postcard, it is what it is. Or the postcard read, thy will be done. Oh, or it could read, the Tao follows its own path. Is what it is. Shift happens. Maybe that should be the postcard. Oh, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a new cottage industry of self-help postcards. Maybe I'll send out one like a week, 52 weeks. Maybe throw in some coping tips. What is wrong with people? But that's what I'm going to do. Self-help postcards. Thy will be done. Shift happens. Tao follows its own path. Is what it is. Because that's the truth of our life. We can't control what's thrown at us, but we can control how we handle what's thrown at us. We can engage with it. We don't have to cower in the corner. Well, that doesn't dovetail with my optimistic vision of the future. Then don't have an optimistic vision of the future. Try living for the next 20 seconds. And I don't mean to be snotty about it, but here's what I know. Once you tap into that all-natural being, whether you decide to do it for 20 seconds or 20 minutes, I'm out. I've done my job. That's my gig. To remind you of who you've always been. Who you've always been. The natural resources. The myriad. Just the multiple. You're a bag of natural resources. Of authentic vigor. Of buried logic. Of primal grit. That's a part of who you are already. Now, it doesn't matter if you haven't used it for a while. Let it sit around. Let's take it out. Blow the dust off the bottle. Time to go. It's still in there. Here's the question I thought about driving in this morning. Oh, and I should mention, please reach out to me as always, as you know. allnaturalbeing.com. Drop me an email. A bunch of people signed up and sent me an email yesterday. I'll send you an email back because I'd like to hear some of the answers to these questions. Also, pretty soon, a couple of weeks, we're going to be starting a live weekly webinar, kind of like my little revival session. My little chance to give back and say, hey, come hang out with me for 45 minutes once a week. We're going to go ahead. We're going to have our own mutiny. We're going to take back your power. We're going to go in and get out what you've always had. So once a week, we're going to be doing a webinar. Also, we'll be doing, and if you go over to allnaturalbeing.com, send me an email, I'll send you one back. We're going to be doing a TV, a broadcast, a video pretty soon. So you'll be able to see, right? Well, we're getting a studio built. We're doing all kinds of cool things. So you don't have to just see me here talking to a computer. But we're going to have a TV version of this. Or you can actually watch the video. YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo, all the places that we put out content will be broadcasting both a radio signal and a video signal. I guess you could call that television, but we're going to be broadcasting so that if you want to hook up in person, at least via Skype, or if you want to hook up, you can at least watch the show. It's coming one way. And then we'll start with our Skype interviews. We'll have some great authors. Been busy reading all these books to make sure that we get the very best people on. Because it's not my goal to bring someone in like in front of the grand jury. Isn't it true that you said goal setting was the best thing in the world? It's not going to be that kind of show. We're going to find people that help us remember who we are. Not sell us more snake oil, more carrots. Oh, here's a bushel basket of carrots. Don't they look great? So hook up on allnaturalbeing.com. Send me an email. I'll send you one back with all kinds of cool calendar stuff that's coming up. And, of course, a recap. I do a little blog post that kind of summarizes, kind of primes your mind for the remainder of the day whenever you listen to the show. Kind of prime your mind for that. And we have the all-natural thinking question. Just, like a chisel, jackhammer, sandblaster, whatever it's got to do to get in, kind of remove some of the plaque, some of the buildup, some of the baggage, so that you can reconnect with your all-natural being. But my thought driving in this morning, what if you and I are afraid, not of the things we fear, but of our joy? What if it's not the uncertainty that scares us, but what if it's our joy? What if we become so secure in our surrender, so comfortable in our quest for security that isn't going to happen? No way to be secure, can never be ultimately secure. What if we replaced the thrill of life, your pulse? What if we replaced that with a bubble-wrapped couch potato complacency? What if what we fear is our own joy? Because it's the unknown. Oh, Brian, I got a fear of the unknown. I have to plan my future. Like our puny little plans do anything to get Providence to dovetail with our little wish list. Now, just because it may appear that it's happened that way, oh, I set some great goals, I did this, I achieved, blah, 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 doesn't mean that you achieved them because of the goals. It means that you got up in the moment, brought your grit to the grind, decided not to cope, decided to worry away, but you do it constructively. But what if we're afraid of our own joy? What if our protection, the want of that protection, is causing our passion to drain away? What if we have to make a choice between our passion and protection, knowing that protection, security, certainty in an uncertain world can't happen? It's an urban myth, just like goal setting. Urban myth. So what do you say you and I drop that as a myth? If we knock it off? The question would be, don't you owe it to yourself to be yourself already? What are we waiting for? Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm working on this little thing. I've got a picture to share with you. I'll throw it up probably on Facebook. And the portion of the riff that I say is, don't be like me. And to just give you a little bit of a tease, let's do it on tomorrow's show. We'll do it tomorrow's show. A little bit of the tease. I knew 40 years ago, more like 45 years ago, I knew, because of a chance occurrence, I knew what I was going to do while I was here, the short time that had been allotted to me. I knew. And I turned my back on it. Decided, oh no, there's more glamorous stuff. Got to do this, got to do that. Set all the goals. And then it dawned on me. What if my goals were my excuses that kept me from being who I always was? I knew. 45 years ago. And I've got the picture to prove it to you. That 45 years ago, I knew who I was. And I turned my back on it. So, unlike most experts out there today, tomorrow's show, you know what the title's going to be called? Don't be like me. Don't squander it the way I did. Don't wait 4+ decades to kick in a freaking door and say, here's what I'm here to do. Here's who I am. Don't be like me. Don't wait 4 decades. Having the time of my life now. Quickens my pulse now. I could answer what quickens mine. I can answer it now. After a 40-year hiatus, after 40 years of head games, don't be like me. Be smarter than me. Be better than me. Boy, if that doesn't make you want to go, oh, let's go hang out with Brian. Yeah, it's automatic. We can be smarter than he is. Don't be like me. We'll do that. I don't want to get too much into it, but we'll do that tomorrow for sure. All right, we're going to run to a quick break. We will be right back.
You're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. Because it's never too late to take your life back.
There you go. Never too late. Just as I said, 4 decades. And people wonder, why do you always say you can't spell Brian without the I in idiot? 4 decades I waited. Don't be like me. Every chance is a second chance for you to reconnect with your all-natural being. You don't need any guided audio meditation. How to manifest some dream career, dream spouse, dream car, dream whatever. Let's talk a little bit about worry. Everyone's worried. You follow your heart. All your head does is kick in. All the egoic self does is kick in and go, oh no, that's going to be bad. Going to be bad. But that's why I say I'm a huge fan. I think we should worry more. Everyone says, oh, it's the uncertainty of the future. I couldn't possibly do that. I need the tried and true. Not the true to life, but I need the tried and true. I'm going to stick to the crossword puzzle. I'm going to stick with connecting the dots, painting by the numbers. I'm going to stick with the plan. I got my carrots lined up perfectly. Acutely absorbed in the antics of anticipation. Oh, it'll be better tomorrow. It'll be great as soon as I achieve this goal. We look outside of the truly unimaginable power that bubbles up in the now. The rest of time is a sham. Nothing you can do about your past. Very little you can do about your future. The now is where it's at, to go all Eckhart Tolle on you. Power of now. The truly unimaginable power of being who you are in this instant. Of connecting your packet of the pristine with the ultimate pristine. Going home. Dovetailing your heart and your head. Making them work together. One says, oh, it's just, I don't know, there's so much uncertainty in the world today, Brian. So a couple of trains of thought, let's say, that I wanted to share with you. One from the psychologist Eric Fromm. Quote, the quest for certainty blocks the search for meaning. Uncertainty is the very condition to impel us to unfold our powers. Uncertainty, cognitive cutting edge, life in the labyrinth.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm going to wrap myself in bubble wrap and sit right here so nothing happens to me.
Yeah. Except you die from sitting on your couch wrapped in bubble wrap, right? Except for that, nothing's going to happen to you. The quest for uncertainty blocks the search for meaning. Uncertainty is the very condition to impel us to unfold our powers. Again, that's Eric Fromm. And then C.S. Lewis. He just absolutely put it brilliantly, beautifully. To love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything, and your heart will be wrung and possibly broken. If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, don't give your heart to anyone, not even an animal. Wrap it carefully with hobbies and little luxuries. Avoid all entanglements. Lock it up safe in the casket or coffin of your selfishness. But in that casket, safe, dark, motionless, airless, it will change. It will not be broken. It will become unbreakable, impenetrable, and irredeemable. To love is to be vulnerable. And again, that was C.S. Lewis. To be vulnerable. What does vulnerable mean? Vulnerable, very simple definition, looking at uncertainty of the moment, looking at life in the labyrinth and go, give me another helping. I'm here for the ride. I punched my ticket. Let's go. And then the other parts of us kick and go, oh, you better be safe. Better be safe. If you're a rodeo clown or you're a rodeo star, you better have a clown. If you're a tightrope walker, better have a safety net. But vulnerable is in fact that. The love of uncertainty. Amor fati, the love of fate. Doesn't mean you and I have to agree with fate. We have our destiny. We can look at what fate throws at us and just laugh at it. But let's not beat up on fate. In all fairness to fate, there are billions of people running around that it gets to control. So when it bumps into you, you can't blame it for thinking it's going to be able to play you like a mandolin. You can't blame fate for thinking you and I are just going to fold. Throws a hurdle, throws a speed bump, a distraction. Can't blame fate for thinking you and I are suckers. Look at all the other people in the world. So maybe I'm being unfair to fate. I don't want any new you. I don't want any makeovers. I don't want some goal-ridden you, and neither do you. I want the old you. I want the primal you. I want the you that is true to life, your life, because it's the only life that matters. I want the you that knows what it takes to quicken its pulse and does what it can. Because the basis of all compassion, the foundation of all altruism, look, I'm sure it's a cliche. I don't remember the particular author. I've either heard it or read it somewhere. You can never love someone else until you can love yourself. Whole cottage industry set up around making you believe that's not true.
Oh, you don't want to be into self-love. That's just selfishness.
Every so often, it's okay to be your own best friend. Every so often, it's okay to be your biggest fan. And anyone that would negate that for you, anyone that would try to take that from you, there's no sense telling them to go to hell. They're already there. They're so disconnected from who they are. They want you being disconnected too. But let's agree to drop that as a mental system. Let's agree to just knock it off. It's not benefiting us to be blown around by a piece of tumbleweed in the winds of fate. You and I are here. We got a gig. We know who we are. Is today the day? Today the day that we're going to actively embrace who we are and then do something positive in the world. Because once you love yourself, once you connect your packet of the pristine with the universal pristine, you can't be mean to another. That's the saying from Gospel of Thomas, I and the Father are one. So are you, however you define the Father, however you define the Mother. And everyone's all fired up today. I and the Father are one. No one comes to the Father but through me. You were given a mantra. You were given a mantra. Wasn't some guy 2,000 years ago bragging. He came with a mantra. I and the Father are one. No one comes through the pristine other than through me, through your own heart. He knew exactly what it took to reconnect with the energy that you already are, and they killed him for it. You and the Father are one. No one comes to the Father. No one comes to the universe but through you, your own heart, your own recognition of the all-natural being that's within you, the superhuman that's within you. But I guess you can't sell a lot of books. I guess you can't fill a lot of collection plates if the truth that you and the Father are one, that no one comes to the Father but through you. I guess that doesn't fill a lot of coffers. So they capped him. Let's not, you and I, be that way. Let's not be constantly absorbed in the antics of anticipation. Tomorrow, 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 I'll be happy, I'll be fulfilled, I'll be successful. Tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. I can't wait till I retire. My thoughts go out to Morley Safer's family. My wife was saying to me the other day they did a big thing, apparently, on Sunday. He's been a 60 Minutes reporter. Good, I always thought a cool reporter. Good guy. Seemed like a good guy. Been a reporter for CBS for like 750 years, however long, just forever. They do a special on Sunday announcing his retirement. I think he's dead by Wednesday. So again, my best to his family. But there's stories like that all over the place. We work to retire. The day we do, we tap out. What if you and I decide to be true to our life? What if you decide to be true to your life? And through that, you can be true to the people that you love. You can be true to the people around you. Your clan, your clique, your community. What if it all begins by you being true to your life, to what quickens your pulse? Because then you give them permission to be the same way. You give them permission to follow their heart, to ignore their head, to build up enough of an ego shield that when its craziness starts, you go, that's the ego. That's what it does. It'll be here all week. Don't forget to tip your waiter. Right? Like a stand-up comedian. I like to call it a stand-up caustic. That's my... If I ever have another career, that'll be it. Stand-up caustic. What if you and I do away with the binge thinking? And if we can only do it 20 seconds at a time, great, fantastic. It's a progressive thing. We're just like we're building muscles. 20 seconds at a time, no crazy thoughts, no binge thinking. Again, dysfunctional assumptions would be the clinical term. Probably a good time for me to mention. Not a shrink, not a psychologist, not a doctor, licensed, clinical, anything. I'm just a guy. And I'm really not here for you. I'm here for your soul. Because your soul wants its life back. It wants its power back. Doesn't want us squandering it anymore. Wants us to remember who we already are. Wants us to celebrate at every turn. Wants us to be thrilled with life. Thrilled. Wants us. Smile like we mean it. No coping. Think about what unhappiness or stress or agitation. Think about what it really, truly is. We're afraid our plans are going to be derailed. So for 20 seconds, you want me to guarantee to you, sure as you're hearing my voice, you want to make sure for the next 20 seconds, you don't have to be unhappy, depressed, you don't have to feel unsuccessful, you don't have to cope. What was it Dante says? At least in the Divine Comedy. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. For 20 seconds, abandon all hope. No hope, no goals, no wants, no neediness, no pettiness. For 20 seconds, just be thankful for who you already are and that you're still here. Watch what happens to your unhappiness. Watch what happens to your sadness. Watch what happens to all the things that make us crazy. They slip away. 20 seconds. And the cool gig is, if you can do it for 20, pretty soon you'll be able to do it for 40 seconds. And if you can't do it for 40 seconds, so what? Do it for 10. What do you care? I'm not going to kill you. Try 10 seconds. I confront it every day. There's always an excuse. And as you get better at it, fate's going to start targeting you. Going, look, you sit there all you want for 20 seconds thinking that I can't make you unhappy. I can't make you sad. I can't make you beg for coping skills. So you're going to go, thank you, sir. May I have another? 20 seconds. You don't want to be unhappy? Remember who you are. Don't be afraid of your joy. How does it benefit us to do so? Let's just knock it off. Because you owe it to yourself to be yourself. And what if C.S. Lewis was right? To love it all is to be vulnerable. What if vulnerability gets a bad rap? Uncertainty most certainly gets a bad rap. You look at art, you look at science, any of the great creative achievements of the human mind created in the outer world, all born in uncertainty. Weren't absolutely certain how it was going to go. I think about it. Thought about it yesterday. Yesterday afternoon. About an hour before dinner. Instead of some grand plan, my wife opens the refrigerator and says, why don't we cook this? And we'll throw in a little bit of this, and we'll throw in a little bit of that, and we'll do this, and we'll do that. We had a blast. No great culinary plan. Just open the fridge, see what we got there. What's the moment present? Let's whip up something. Why couldn't we live life that way? Now, I'm not saying that you don't have a tending. I'm not saying that you don't have a general sense of what the future may hold. But when we agree to be vulnerable, when we agree to embrace uncertainty, it's going to embrace us. Why fight what's natural? And if you don't want to embrace it, at the very least, engage it for 20 seconds. Engage it, 20 seconds, guaranteed. And even if you don't want to believe me, even if you don't want to listen to what I say, give me 20 seconds. And at the end of that 20 seconds, never tune in again. My job will be done. 20 seconds. Your pulse is the best test of what's true to life. Once you find out what quickens yours, you already know it. It's already in you. Stop looking. Stop searching. It's already in you. Once you reconnect, recognize, once you dovetail your heart and your head, life gets to be an easy gig for you. We begin to realize that none of the things that happen in the outside world affect us unless we give them permission, unless we become a co-conspirator in our own unhappiness. It's a conspiracy. Two or more people meet and agree to perform an act in the furtherance of the commission of a crime. Conspiracy. Little news you can use. So what if we do? If we really have a CSI mirror, dun dun dun, some deep-throated actor. What happened here, ma'am? Well, I lost my sense of self. It's a crime been committed. Let's not do it then. Let's not be a co-conspirator. If it's true that our soul is done settling for second best, and I believe it is, look at the strife in the world. Look at the very mayhem. I can just turn on the news, radio, magazine, newspaper, if anyone reads those anymore. Look at all the strife in the world. The strife in the world stems from people forgetting who they ultimately are. Because when you remember who you ultimately are, there's no reason to stab someone. No reason to behead them. No reason to be mean to another human being. When you remember who you ultimately are, you realize their little packet of pristine is just like your little packet of pristine. No wars, no strife, no beating each other up. When you remember who you ultimately are, none of those outside derailments can affect you without your permission. So again, ask yourself, as horrible as it may be, as if that could happen. And then ask yourself, so what would that mean? What would that ultimately mean? I also wanted to share this, an article that I just was important to me for a couple different reasons. I want to get this before the top of the hour. It's talking about a telephone-based cognitive behavioral therapy, and this is from Medical Express, online newspaper, online. I think it's just online, newspaper, magazine. Telephone-based cognitive behavioral therapy, there's our big term, CBT, significantly improves menopause symptoms. Now, it's easy to think that this article is just about people going through menopause. And we can absolutely use these tips, but it also applies to the rest of us. Talking about difficulty sleeping, and then you're tired throughout the day. All the different symptoms, it lists the symptoms of menopause, all the different symptoms that you may be confronted by if you're going through that. And then it talks about how just at the end of the day, now this article is set up to sell you a package of therapies with a cognitive behavioral therapist. You can talk right before night. But some of the tips, some of the tricks, some of the techniques that they use in terms of the journal writing, in terms of just talking it out, right? Cognitive behavioral therapy. It says here, quote, this study demonstrates that it is possible to significantly improve the sleep of many women going through menopausal transition without the use of sleeping medications or hormone therapies, even if hot flashes are waking them up at night. This is good news for millions of women who are suffering from poor sleep at this time of life. But underlying this, the inability to get a good night's sleep. Believe me, I think every day, it'd be a lot easier on my mornings, I think we should do this show at night. I think we should have a general wind down show where we take out our logbook, take out our evidence blotter, our journal, whatever we call it. We write down the events of the day. And then we ask ourselves, as if, so what? So what? Was it as bad as I thought it was going to be? Did I confront it? Did I run from it? Did I at the very least engage it to see if there was anything? Thumbs up, thumbs down? But this great study says that if you think through the events of the day, where you write them down, that maybe there is something. Maybe there is something to having a conversation with your own heart, with your own head. See if you can't get some type of agreement by the end of the day. And if you get that agreement, maybe this article is true. That's the good night's sleep. For me, I will tell you, every night before I fall asleep, I have a long list of things that I'm grateful for. The good and the bad. Those reasons that other people might see to be optimistic or pessimistic throughout my day. An overall sense of gratitude. Thanks for leaving me here another day, fate. Just gratitude. The grease of the human mind. And it could very well be a whole list of different things that keep people, literally keep people up at night. Could be removed. If we just pared down a little bit, like a giant power wash at the end of the day to make sure we're not taking all this crap into our minds when we fall asleep at night. So just something to think about. Maybe a nighttime ritual will work for you. Works for me. I have a morning ritual as well. Greeting each day and ending each day grateful for the fact that I was here to be confronted by these things in the first place. Try it. Give yourself a 20-second victory in the morning, 20-second victory in the evening. Maybe you're your own best sleep coach. Maybe you can talk yourself through it. Maybe you can have that dialogue with the mirror we talked about yesterday. And maybe the payoff will be a great night's sleep. Are you worth one 20-second chunk of your day? Are you worth two? One in the morning, one in the evening. All right, tomorrow. Now that I've kind of gone ahead and outed myself, tomorrow we're going to talk about the number one reason not to be like me. Tell you a little bit of story, what happened to me, how I got derailed for 40 years. But hopefully you can use me as like your crash test dummy. Right? You can use me and go, oh, I'm not going to do 40 years. Good golly, Brian. That's nuts even for you. All right, we're going to run. Before I get out of here, remember, allnaturalbeing.com. Drop me an email. I'll send you one back. All kinds of cool things we've got going on, including the webinar coming up pretty soon. It's going to be a private webinar, just us. Be some interaction. People can ask questions. We can work through some things together. We can beat back our binge thinking. Also, we're going to be doing a video broadcast of this pretty soon. You'll be able to watch it live on Facebook, maybe YouTube, Vimeo, however that all works out. We're working on that as well. So until tomorrow morning, go a little crazy. Engage in uncertainty a little bit. Be vulnerable. The quest for certainty. Leave it alongside of the road for 20 minutes today. Just go into the uncertainty of it and see if I'm right. And for all my critics listening, that listen so that they can go, oh, that's not going to work, this isn't going to work, that's not going to happen, great. But for the rest of us, try it for 20 minutes. I guarantee once you reintroduce yourself to yourself, you are going to have a blast. All right, we're out of here. See you tomorrow morning.
listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
Join us live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern.
Also, check us out around the clock at allnaturalbeing.com.
Until then, always remember to bring your own bold.
IPMNation.com.